Hey there, awesome folks. This is Mentor Shelly, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally, guys. I want to talk to you guys. This is becoming a unfortunate, the return to office policies are, some of them are glaring, some of them are downright screaming desperation on some of the employers' part. There's some business need for some of it, but a lot of it is not necessarily coming from the best of places. So, I want to make sure that you guys understand the landscape, and it is becoming a polarizing topic. It's becoming political on some fronts, but I want to make sure you guys have what you need and understand the climate and the temperature of how remote workers are affecting a lot of the return to office policies, and how the tug of war of power between the employer and the employee is really becoming an issue. It's becoming a polarizing issue on a lot of fronts. Of course, as you're coming into the live stream here, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Of course, we are on the road to 1,000, and I want you to know that I do appreciate all of your support for anyone that is watching. And of course, if you have questions in regards to this topic and any other career related topic, you can definitely go to mentorshelly.com/contact. Now let's jump right in all of this now, shall we? I want to make sure you guys have a good sense of what is really going on out here. What it says here, return to office policies. This article was written by Charlie Wells a few days ago on Microsoft Start, of course. Return to office policies. Let's see here. Return to office policies delve into a toxic cultural flashpoint by Charlie Wells. Of course, this has been branching from Bloomberg. Bloomberg, it's a simple question that has transformed into a lightning rod. Where do you work from? Nearly 4 years after the pandemic-induced office shutdowns, the fight over working remotely and showing up in person has become a cultural flashpoint as bosses increasingly summon employees back to the office and workers resist the loss of a popular perk. 2/3 of the country thinks the subject has become unnecessarily politicized. I will tend to agree. According to the National Representative Survey conducted for Bloomberg News by the Harris poll, 74%. Wow. 74% think employees need to stop complaining about having to go back to the office. Interesting. Meanwhile, 50% say companies are out of touch for focusing so heavily on back to office protocols. I think, my opinion on the subject, let's focus on what's the most productive and what's bringing the most dollars and cents into the organization, more so focusing on what location the person is at. That's my take on it, but people don't have to agree with me. The findings come in as large companies have been targeting remote workers for layoffs and the white-collar job market sputters. Remote working has long pitted workers versus management, white-collar versus blue-collar, left versus right. Yet these days, when polarization is turbocharged by social media, seemingly everyone has a hot take. When you've gotten any issue that is emotional and that has strongly held opposing viewpoints, that's a strong recipe for polarization, says Bob Duffy, a professor of public policy at King's College. Of course, here's a poll. Remote work has become unnecessarily politicized. Yes. Agree. Employees need to stop complaining. Some agree to that event. Companies are out of touch with focusing on back to office protocols so heavily. I agree with that as well. I'll share my take on it after this. As often as it happens with complex issues, such as a nuance in this debate has been lost. One irony is that remote work is really only relevant to a fairly small segment of the U.S. Only about 11% of American workers over the age of 16 were fully remote in January, the latest months for which the Bureau of Labor Statistics has data, and many never went remote at all. Plenty of companies, meanwhile, have embraced flexible work schedules and use remote options to attract and retain talent. Beautiful. Of course, there's a video talking about job stability. Of course, this has now become an emotional issue for some. But what makes the topic kindling for heated debate is its connection to the emotional height of COVID pandemic, Duffy said. Back then, so-called knowledge workers rapidly embraced the new normal of working from home. Bosses were encouraged to embrace it. And as lockdowns eased, attempts to snap back fueled a sense of job perks being snatched away. It really speaks to the issue of power. I did address that before. An associate client partner in the consultancy, Korn Ferry Atlanta's office. To take away that power, it seems disenfranchising to some people. I understand that too. It also raises a question of fairness. In the Harris poll, 2/3 of Americans said it is unfair that some workers get to work remotely while others with similar jobs cannot because of different company policies. And 53% said it is unfamiliar that some workers in different jobs can remotely work while others cannot due to the nature of their work. It all depends on what it is your skill set is and what it is that you can do. That's neither here nor there. That's just the nature of what it is that you do. This has also emboldened critics who say remote work debates are simply laptop class. It's simply the laptop class of high-collar professionals complaining. That may explain why some experts find the issue cleaving along a familiar divide. Hybrid or remote workers are typically work-age, college-educated urban employees who earn around $70,000 or more a year, according to Nick Bloom, an economic professor at Stanford University, who researches remote work. These folks are heavily Biden. Oh, let's not make assumptions now, but it sounds like that Mr. Nick Bloom is about to do just that. These folks are heavily Biden voting, he says. If you look at employees who cannot work from home, typically frontline workers, often non-college paid, hourly, and working with customers, equipment, or materials, they are most likely to vote for Trump. Wow. What an assumption. Bloom notes populist politicians have been quick to push back on remote work because it aligns with their voters' views. Knowledge workers are an easy punching bag for voters whose jobs have never been remote. This is also an issue of what skills you have versus what skills you don't have, and skills that are tied to IT, that are tied to computer, white collar type work. There's people participating on other sides, but apparently based on these assessments or this Harris poll here, oh boy, percentage of Democrats or Republicans who agree with the following. I'm just going to pause here for you guys to see this, and you guys can make your own assessments on what that may or may not be. Let me continue. But white-collar bosses have been pushing back too. There is a mounting frustration that staff who insist on staying remote are being selfish, cherry-picking data on the benefits of at-home productivity while ignoring the drawbacks. Employees retort that it's the bosses who are selfish or are the selfish ones, picking their own data on the perks of spontaneous interaction without focusing on personal productivity or the fact that some workers, particularly parents of young children, flexible work is a godsend. That is true. Different dimensions. Adding to the toxic mix is all that iterations of flexible work, fully remote, hybrid, structured hybrid, making a straightforward apples to apples debate even harder. Remote work isn't a single thing that affects only one dimension. Mark Murchison, an associate professor of organizational behavior at INSEAD, says. The big challenge is the two polarized sides are generally arguing for different elements on different dimensions. Still, recruiters warn that no matter what side employees find themselves on in remote work, they need to be aware that some firms have started to use a willingness to come in as a proxy for whom to lay off. And I did talk about this in the video last week, or whom to hire, warns Adam Kale, founder of CEO of Harris Gray Search and Consulting in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I had a client tell me this week that he'd rather have someone that's 7 of 10 who wants to come into the office for that direct mentorship versus someone who's 9.5%, 9.5 out of 10 on paper, but wants remote, he said. This also gives rise to the level of how much people will dig into their heels as it pertains to remote work, as it pertains to non traditional. The fight for the power is still ongoing. Folks, I want you guys to be aware that this remote work situation is still very serious. And there are companies out here that are truly, they're still fighting tooth and nail to occupy the space. And it's becoming a polarizing situation simply because of how the whole thing is being viewed. I do want to bring some questions to you. I'm going to save them. I'm not going to put them in the chat. Question number one, and I want to make sure you guys are, you are participating here. Let's see here. What is the purpose that return to office policies serve if job performance is not a factor? Let me tell you this. There's a lot of companies that, even though their job performance increased and improved with people working from home, they are using the work from home, unfortunately, as a power move because they want what they want when they want it for whatever other purposes they have in the future, and they are willing to let go of some job performance to get what they want, which is the power back in their favor. So, guys, tell me what you guys think. Put in the chat what you think is sparking, is this debate. I personally think there's some power struggle going on there. If job performance is not improving with them coming back to the office, what's the real reason? Part of that, I think, is a power struggle, to be quite honest. Let's see here. Let me just make sure. I want to make sure you guys see the question. I'm going to post it on the screen, not necessarily in the chat, so you guys can participate in this because I want to make sure that you guys see this. Okay, so what purpose? Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to add what purpose does RTO serve if job performance isn't a factor? I personally think it's a power thing, but of course I can be wrong. I can be corrected. Guys, provide me with your perspective on this. Let's see here. What do you guys think? If you guys are going through any of this, no, let me not even go there first. Let me ask the second question. Okay, let's see here. Why do you think, go ahead and add this to the banner. Second question, why do you think employers are pushing the return to office policy even with threats and actions to lay off employees who do not return to the office? As I said, unfortunately, and fortunately, I guess for some companies, it's a power struggle. They're showing that, yes, they want employees back and they want them back in the office. And even if it doesn't add to your performance, because I've told you time and time again that the power struggle is there. So that's really part of what the issue is. Not last question, but I want to put this also as a question to you. How can you, I'm talking to career focused professionals here that may be a part of that 11% that the article speaks of. The 11% of workers in the job market right now that has the power to be able to work from home or has the skill set to be able to work remotely. The third question is, how can employees be prepared to handle themselves if caught up in this perceived tug of war between flexibility and their employment? You always, as an employee, have to be prepared to make a move. You always have to be prepared to make a move based on your own interest, based on your career plan. And if you're looking for help to get your career plan underway, I definitely want to make sure that you have some tools to start the process. You can go to mentorshelly.com/DCG. It's going across the screen right now. You can go ahead and pick up that resource to start your, it's a dream career guide. It is a free resource, and I want to make sure that you have that in your arsenal to start putting your plan together. But of course, if you're looking for me to help you get things in gear and really put a comprehensive plan together for your career plan, and you're looking for something more comprehensive to work with me directly, you can go to mentorshelly.com/consultations. We can definitely work together, put a plan in place. So if you are faced with this as a career focused professional, you are ready to make the move if necessary, if the plans of the employer forcing people to return to work is not working for you. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that you have what you need. I'll be providing some additional resources in the next coming weeks as far as getting your resumes together. I'll be putting out some more videos in regards to that. And making sure that we do have some other resources to help you prepare to make that next career move. And of course, guys, if you do like the information that you hear, please go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, or like and share wherever you're watching this video. And if there's anyone that you know going through this, and of course, I want you to know that we are here to help. And if you see this video and it's helpful to you, share this with a friend, share this with a coworker, share this with anyone that you know is needing help in this specific area, because we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And I do appreciate your help for you guys coming by and being able to participate. Guys, of course, grab the free resource at mentorshelly.com/DCG, and there will be more resources available to you from my website, which is at mentorshelly.com. Guys, this is Mentor Shelly, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. Put your questions. If you have questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments or leave them in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to respond to them after this video renders. Guys, take care. This is Mentor Shelly, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. And no matter what economic climate you're in, you always want to be prepared to make a move if it does not fit your specific career plan. All right, guys, take care.